Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Transformational Storytellers Show. We have a treat today. Yes, we do. I am telling you, you're going to be mesmerized today, especially if you lead. My guest today is Carmen Paredes. Hola, Carmen.
Hola, how are you?
I'm doing okay. We'll talk about that later, but I want to tell everyone a little bit about you. Oh my
Mm.
God. You're a two-time TEDx speaker, which is not an easy feat. You also were awarded and honored with the Lifetime Presidential Award from the White House directly to Carmen's wall. Amazing. She's an award-winning keynote speaker. She's a leadership transformation expert. And even though she looks like she's 25, she has over 25 years of experience in this area, leading companies and corporations that you have heard the name of, but we can't tell you right now. And right now, what she does is she helps organizations grow profits and impact when they learn the principles of exceptional leaderships that she teaches. And we're going to learn all about Carmen and Carmen's work, but I want to just give you the opportunity, Carmen, to share your story today. I would love to hear, well, I have heard it before, but for you to share with everyone who's tuning in or watching the replay about one of your stories, because I know you have a lot of them.
Yes, I'd say fortunately or fortunately, I have a lot of them, but the one that we're talking about today, it's the one I share in the Gifts of Pain, and it's one that I think leaders really can relate to, and is how I found myself um, going on an airplane from Alaska to Arizona, where one of the Mayo clinics are. Because I had burned out so badly that I had actively bleeding stomach ulcers. So I was on my way there to have a surgery, and it was a life-threatening situation. It was no joke. And I know most people don't end up this way when they are burning out, but this is what could happen. So this is why I want to share my story with everybody. But it wasn't just the fact that I was about to die. I had so much guilt too because all this drive to work was to provide my children with everything I didn't have growing up. Or
Mm.
so I thought myself, so I talk. But facing death, all of a sudden I realized that really what my children wanted and needed was not all this stuff that we get, all these material things. Or me, what I needed wasn't all these accolades and all this success. What I needed was to be present, happy, healthy, so I can make an impact. And so, I had moment of enlightenment as I'm in the hospital bed and realized that I needed to find a way to protect my health, my energy, and I researched all kind of modalities, mindset, spiritual exploration, all kind of things, and start applying this into my life, into the way I led, and it transformed everything, from how I show up to the results I got. And now I'm on the other side of burnout, thankfully, and I've been able to share my story in the book, also in TEDx, and bring awareness to leaders that there's another way. We don't have to hustle through the wall to make an impact, to make a living, to be seen or heard. And that's what I do. That's what I do now for leaders who want to be seen, valued, appreciated, promoted, create an impact without burning out.
Oh my goodness, there's so much to unpack there. And thank you so much for sharing your story. I really love that you talk about at that moment of enlightenment. And we don't have to be hospitalized or have a life or death situation to realize that now, because you have been there and you know the signs and you know also the antidote to really avoid, prevent, but also to recover from burnout, which is so amazing that you have lived all of you have done all of the homework to
For
help.
everybody, yes.
Yeah. And also, it's hard to share that and to look back and for me, every time I hear stories like yours, it's like, oh my goodness, that is so hard, that is so sad, that is so scary. And it is brave of you to share your story. And I know it's a difficult place to go back to. So why do you share it? Why do you think storytelling is important? Why do you go to TEDx and the United Nations and, military bases, Rotary clubs, conferences, and universities? Why do you share your story in these platforms?
One of the things I've noticed is that most people don't realize how common and how bad burnout can be. And the real reason why we burn out. So one of the things I share when I speak is that my burnout didn't happen because of my workload. Yes, I had a big workload, but it was almost self-imposed. No one was going to fire me because I wasn't working 80 hours a week. No one was going to, demote me or pay me less or think less of me. I was doing all those things to myself. And so it's the detachment, it's the disconnection from your feelings, from your wounds, from the traumas that we have that make us become addictive to something that make us feel better. For me, and the case of many high achievers, that's what we're high achievers, we use work as a dopamine. Some other people might use other ways to numb the pain. But the fact that it's so normalized and so rewarded because you get a pat in the back because you're doing a good job, you're getting more money, you're getting promoted, it's socially accepted and it's killing us. It might not get to the point where people are in a hospital bed about to die, but it's killing your spirit, it's killing, your energy, your body is suffering. And so I feel like I have to, since I went through it, survived, I have to share with the world. I was recently just had a talk here in town, and there was someone in the audience who have known me through my career. She didn't work at my company, but she's been there. She was a vendor, and she couldn't believe all these things that I was sharing because you don't show it, you don't talk about it, you just go go go. Right.
Mm,
And so that's what I feel is important, right? Because I want to bring awareness to everybody. It's not the right way to do it. And your teams and employees are going through this.
wow. That is definitely incredible that you were able to have that full circle moment with this person and how insightful for them, but also for anyone who didn't know you, just to see what a beautiful, strong, smiley, just bright woman you are, and to know the depth of the despair that you went through and the suffering, not only the physical suffering, but also the mental anguish that you've been through. And that's only one of your stories. So it's definitely worth it, everyone, to look into Carmen. I'm going to leave her information in the show notes. So make sure you connect with her. And speaking of connecting with you, you talked about your work and how you help leaders, but tell us a little bit more about exactly how you do it. And also, what do you love most about it? What are those moments that make it all worth it? Because, it's a lot of work, obviously.
Yes. So I'm especially passionate about empowering women in leadership and Latinas, if I can choose one person to help. Why? Because I've been there. I am you. I am the person who had all these ambitions, aspirations, education, but was a double minority. I just read that the other day and I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
God, that's the new thing, double minority. Not only a woman, but a woman. of color, of Latina, with an accent and a personality, and the person who like to wear like, I like to wear bright colors, and that doesn't mean anything, but it's not accepted, right? And so having to go through all that and break that glass ceiling that I did, I became the first Latina vice president in Alaska. It was so hard. And I get so much pride, and maybe pride is not the right word, but like my heart gets full
Yeah.
when I see another woman and another Latina make it. And it doesn't have to be to the corner office, but whatever your dreams are, whatever that next level of success, of accomplishment is, and without having to hustle through it, without having to disconnect from your family, without having your personal relationships to suffer, or your body, or your soul. And so that's really, it really lights me up, because I feel like that is my legacy in this planet.
Well, it lights me up too.
Oh.
Because I like how you identified your trajectory and know exactly who you're here to serve. I think that there's so much that you have to share for anyone who wants to work with you. However, just knowing that you have this particular segment and they know that you can understand where they are, what they're going through, how they feel, where they're going. It really is a valuable trajectory and a valuable path forward for Latinas. And is that Latinas in the United States or is it Latinas worldwide?
Oh, worldwide.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, we're united by heritage, wherever we are.
Yeah, yeah, I love that so much because when I thought about Alaska, it doesn't strike me as the most populated state
It's
by
not.
Hispanic, yeah, by a Hispanic community, and you were able to stand out to be as someone who represents Latinas, and I feel that there are many Latinas around the world in places where they are invisible and yet painfully visible, if you know what I mean. And because I know you know what I mean.
Yes, yes, yes. Because that's part of another stories, right? Like if anyone
Yeah.
wants to watch the Spanish TEDx, you can hear that part of the story.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely. Yeah, and I'm definitely leaving the TEDx talks down below. I had the opportunity to be part of that journey with you, Carmen, and just to celebrate you for a little bit before we continue, the ethics, the dedication, the love and the heart and soul that you put into your talks, into everything that you do. That has been my experience with you all throughout. And I know that you have so much love and passion for this work, and you take action to to just give your best. And I know that you do that with each and one of your clients. So how is it that you work with clients? I know that you speak, you're available to speak and do keynotes around the world, not only in the United States, but globally, and that you speak to a variety of audiences. Even though you do specialize in working with Latina leaders, you speak to leaders and can relate to leaders of all levels and backgrounds, really. But who do you work with and how in other ways?
Yes. So one-on-one coaching is what I've been doing. The reason why is because every person has a different journey, and I'm able really to tune into what are those wounds, what are those things that are keeping us stuck. It's interesting because most people don't want to talk about that. They are like, well, that's part of the past, right? And I was explaining to someone the other day that I'm not asking you to go change your past. I'm asking you to cut the cord between the belief that you have, right? That you need to be that little girl that you were back then to survive now that you are a full-on grown man, right? full grown woman. And so we work one on one, and I have techniques and frameworks. I like to create frameworks because it helps me remember what they are. It helps you remember what they are, and they are intuitively, so they make sense. And they are the foundation of this movement that I'm creating, which is exceptional leadership. I believe that being great is not good enough. We have to be exceptional. And that goes through the journey of what I had to become to be the leader that I was. Um, you can ask anyone who's worked for me, and they all, I mean, and I'm not bragging, it's all there in LinkedIn. They all still stay connected and support me. And the other day, I actually have someone who used to work for me who got let go, and my heart was broken. I'm still his leader. And I'm like, let's brainstorm. I will help you anything you want, any reference, like, because I still care about them. And so when I work with someone, I take them through the journey of my three foundational pillars, which is endure, elevate, and empower. And so it's about a 12-week journey in a one-on-one setting.
Yeah, I love that. Oh my gosh. Sign up right now because I know Carmen is exceptional for real. Like that's the best word to describe you. And you know I love frameworks too because we work together so closely. But I do understand what you mean when you talk about working one-on-one with someone and giving a customized path for them to follow. I also am a big fan of that. And it is a commitment as a coach, and I do understand that, but I think cookie cutter programs that are, group based, you can only get so much there, especially when it comes to those pieces that keep you stuck. And I want to repeat what you said, that basically we need to get to the wound and cut the cord. That sounds such a simple concept, and it's highly transformational. I mean, I'm sure that just hearing that right now is a light bulb moment for many of them, but it's not easy to do without support.
Mhm. And the
With
journey is long. And that, I mean, that is the armor you need to put on to like go on the battlefield, right? Like you've done it, I do it. And still, after years of doing it and being in so much, elevated version of myself, I still sometimes like, oh, wow, still need to do this one too, right? And so we are evolving always and growing as human beings. And you know what? I always said like, do you ever have met a coach that doesn't do one-on-one anymore because, their impact has grown so much and you sit there and wish that you actually move in sooner and took action sooner because now that person is unavailable and unaccessible, right? And so that's what I treasure, the people that I have, the like the opportunity to say, no, 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 I want to have your undivided attention. Because my the things I'm going through might be different than others. And that's not to discount group coaching, right? Like if you're in a situation where you cannot afford to be with someone one-on-one, that group coaching is better than nothing because at least it will bring the light bulb moments. And then when you're ready to move into a deeper transformation, then you can do that.
Absolutely, 100%. It's all valuable. I mean, even reading a book, watching a video, everything that we can do for our transformation is valuable. It's just having the awareness that going deeper is going to bring the most transformation. And speaking of that, you are writing a book.
Yes, I am writing a book.
Okay, so why don't you tell everyone a little bit about the book, and why are you writing it?
Oh my God.
Because I know it's a lot
Um,
of work.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Writing a book is a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. We've been maybe 6 months in the making now. Um, I'm gonna say I am blessed with the gift of words, but I'm even more blessed to have an amazing coach who has helped me understand how to put my words into something that makes sense for people. Um, Yes. And so my book is about the transformation that a leader, a person needs to go through to become exceptional. And I am most proud of the courage it takes to share the things I'm sharing in the book. There are stories in the book that I am petrified of of getting published because I have never shared them publicly. And I probably, the book will be the only place where I would. And so, if you're curious about Carmen's real painful stories, that's one way to learn about that. But it is, I'm putting them out there because I know there's so many people going through things that are painful, that are deep, and how they affect your everyday life. You might think that some of the things that we go through are not related to to your business, to your work, to your family relationships, but they are all interconnected, and that's one of the things that I'm striving to share in the book is how the one thing here affects this other thing that you're going after so relentlessly, but without healing this part, you cannot shine over here. And so that journey is what I'm sharing. Don't want to quite share the name yet of the book, but it's coming. It's coming. Uh, Hopefully by the fall, everyone can have the book in their hands.
Yes, that's what we're shooting for. And it's such a gift that you're sharing these stories. I mean, I have an intimate look at this work that you're doing, and I'm so proud of you and proud of what you're creating. And I know that anyone who reads this book is going to benefit, but it's one of those rare books where you can actually go deep and assess and uncover. It's not so much discover, but uncover and unlearn, I would say, limiting beliefs and limiting habits that have kept us stuck. So I definitely, I'm going to share this book when it comes out. But since everyone is going to connect with Carmen today, you also know when it comes out. Hint, hint.
And I have to say, the framework that you teach on how to share stories, it's, I mean, it's that's it. That is what you need. And it's not just for speakers, it's not just for writers, it's for anything. Like I just think back at my times in corporate America when I had to present all the time. I didn't have to, but I always raised my hand because, there was the speaker in me wanting the microphone, right? So, but I presented in every meeting that I could, in board meetings. And if I would have this framework, then I can only imagine the impact that I would have made in the world. And it allows you to connect with people, to tell the facts, tell the story, tell the solutions all in one. And so that's what, no, thank you for sharing it with me. That's what I've been able to deliver TEDx and write books. And I was telling you the story that my keynote got caught by 15 minutes on the fly, and I didn't even sweat because I'm like, yep, I know my framework, I know my story. Let's go. I just needed a watch.
On a dime. That's amazing. I'm so proud of you. And thank you for saying that, I feel that that's my personal mission and purpose is to definitely spread the word and teach this framework, this system for transformational storytelling, because like you, I believe that vulnerability liberates others.
Mhm.
Uh, but before we leave today, because we are out of time and I could talk to you for days and hours, and weeks and months and years. I'm trying to think about all the time frameworks.
Centuries if we last that long.
Yes, yes. But I want to know, what is one step that you feel that can get anyone who's listening today started on the journey of being an exceptional leader? What is
Mm.
that one thing that can help them become even more, I would say, prepared to start the journey of exceptional leadership, but also, those three frameworks that you share that are so powerful. How can we start? And of course, besides connecting with you, because
Yes.
that needs to happen, everyone, what is something that they can do or that they can act upon?
I would say self-awareness.
Mm,
It's probably the most important thing and the way to start. And that doesn't mean doing anything but just being present. Start paying attention how you react to situations, how your thoughts are running you mad, how your energy gets affected with people, with situations, um, because they all repeat in patterns. Remember, the way we do one thing is the way we do everything.
yes.
And the healing starts with self-awareness.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I love that. Well, thank you so much. We invite you to do something today that helps you be self-aware, and make sure to connect with Carmen and to watch all of the talks that I'm linking below in the show notes. Thank you, Carmen, for your valuable time, for waking up at I don't know what time because it is 6 o'clock in the morning in Alaska right now. Thank you for sharing your wisdom, for sharing your heart, and for the incredible work that you do every day to support leaders worldwide.
Thank you
We
so much for
appreciate
this
you.
opportunity.
And thank you, everyone. See you next Thursday on the Transformational Storyteller Show. Mwah.